All right, welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into, well, it's been all over the news, right? XRP.
Yeah, definitely a hot topic.
It's surging. So big price surge, hitting a 7-year high. We saw it even break $3, I think, for the first time since, was it January 2018?
That's right, yeah.
So we've got, you sent me a bunch of articles, some from, the financial news sites, some from crypto-specific sites.
Yeah, whole mix. Trying to get the full picture.
Right, got to get the full picture. So let's just dive in and see if we can figure out what's really going on here driving the surge.
Sounds good.
So, right off the bat, the numbers they're pretty wild. One article mentioned XRP is up, get this, 488% since Trump's first election.
Wow.
Back in 2016. So that's a pretty big jump.
Yeah, long-term holders are pretty happy right now.
And even just in the past 24 hours, it's outperformed Bitcoin, right? Gained over 10%, while Bitcoin had a more modest, 3.6% increase.
That's right, yeah. Really seeing a decoupling there.
So what's interesting, too, is, one of the things that stood out to me was XRP's market cap.
Right.
It actually now exceeds BlackRock's. And, to put that in perspective for people, BlackRock's a massive asset management firm.
Oh, yeah. Huge player in traditional finance.
So it tells us, something's going on here. It's attracting some serious attention, maybe even outside those, traditional crypto circles.
Absolutely. It's going mainstream.
Yeah. So one of the things that kept coming up in the articles was this anticipation around the incoming administration and their stance on cryptocurrency. There's this buzz about a crypto-friendly environment, under President-elect Trump.
Right. A lot of optimism. Some would say maybe too much.
Yeah, so Trump's kind of hinted at being more favorable towards crypto, and investors are hoping that, maybe that translates to fewer regulations or lighter regulations.
Yeah, less red tape, easier to operate, that kind of thing.
Right, exactly. But we have to, I guess, keep in mind, this is still a lot of it's speculation, right? We don't know for sure.
Totally. We need to wait and see what concrete policies actually come out.
So yeah, lots of unknowns. But then there's also this other big thing, right? The SEC case against Ripple. That's got to be playing a part in how XRP's prices move.
Oh, absolutely. It's been hanging over the market for a while now.
So just to kind of recap, in 2020, the SEC sued Ripple, right?
Yeah.
Claiming that that XRP was an unregistered security. So this led to years of legal battles, and then, we got kind of mixed verdict in July of 2023.
Right. It wasn't a clean win for either side.
So the articles mentioned the judge ruled that sales to retail investors weren't securities, but sales to institutional investors were.
Yeah, really interesting distinction there.
So help me understand this. Why is there a difference between who's buying it?
Right, so it gets a bit technical, but basically it comes down to this thing called the Howey test. It's used to determine if something is an investment contract and therefore a security. And in simple terms, the Howey test, it looks at whether someone's investing money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profits coming mainly from the efforts of others. So the XRP case, the judge found that sales to everyday people, retail investors, they didn't meet that definition because they weren't relying on Ripple's efforts specifically to make money.
Okay.
But those bigger sales to institutions, they often come with special deals, direct negotiations with Ripple. So those were seen more as securities transactions.
So it's more about the nature of the sale and the relationship, not just who the buyer is.
Exactly, it's nuanced.
And now the SEC is appealing that ruling, right?
Yes, they're not happy with the outcome. They want all XRT sales, no matter who's buying, to be classified as securities.
So that kind of throws everything back up in the air.
It does. Adds a lot of uncertainty, especially for the whole crypto market. This case could have huge implications for how crypto is regulated in the U.S.
And this whole thing could drag on for years, right?
Oh yeah, legal battles like this take time.
So we've got this potential for, maybe easing of regulations under the new administration, but then this threat of this SEC case. No wonder the market's reacting so strongly. It's a lot to process.
Definitely a lot of moving pieces. And we haven't even gotten into the things Ripple themselves are doing. They just got their stablecoin approved by the NYDFS.
Right, RLUSD. Can you explain that a little bit? What's a stablecoin? Why is that approval a big deal?
Sure. So a stablecoin, imagine it like a cryptocurrency, but designed to stay stable, usually pegged to the US dollar, sometimes gold.
Okay.
So they're used a lot in trading, to reduce volatility in the crypto market. And Ripple getting their RLUSD approved by the NYDFS, that's New York's financial regulators, it's a big stamp of approval, as legitimacy, opens up more ways to use it.
So it's not just about like speculation. It's about using this technology in real ways.
Right, exactly. It's about utility.
Yeah.
And that's a key factor a lot of people are overlooking.
So we've got like the political climate, the SEC case, Ripple's own moves, and then on top of that, we've got this news that all the banks in Japan are adopting the XRP ledger for cross-border payments.
Yeah, that was huge.
So just for those who maybe aren't familiar, what is the XRP ledger? Why is this a big deal for Ripple, for XRP adoption?
Okay, so think of the XRP ledger like a global network for moving money around, similar to SWIFT, but it uses blockchain technology, so it's faster, cheaper.
Okay.
And Japanese banks are jumping on board because, well, it just makes sense for them. More efficient, cost-effective than the old ways of doing things.
So this isn't just like hype, it's real-world application.
Right. And that's what's driving a lot of the excitement. Some analysts are even predicting XRP could surpass Ethereum in market cap by 2025.
Wow. But we always got to take those predictions with a grain of salt, right?
Oh, absolutely. Crypto is volatile. Things change fast. But those predictions, they show you the level of interest, the potential people see in XRP.
Yeah. And it's important for everyone to understand, what's driving these price movements, not just jump in blindly.
Totally do your own research.
Right. So we've covered a lot already. I think we need to pause here and give everyone a chance to digest all this.
Yeah, it's helpful to zoom out for a second and see all this in a bigger context.
Yeah.
We're kind of watching the world figure out crypto, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like a shift is happening.
Governments, institutions, regular people, everyone's trying to wrap their heads around it.
And the result of this SEC case against Ripple, that's going to have huge implications.
Yeah, ripple effect for sure.
No pun intended. So one article I was reading mentioned that, now that we have President-elect Trump, he's expected to make some moves, like right away, crypto-focused executive orders.
Interesting. What kind of stuff are they talking about?
Well, some speculate that, maybe lifting or loosening some of those regulations that are already in place.
Okay.
Potentially even, that accounting rule that Biden put in place that forced banks to, treat digital assets on their balance sheets as liabilities.
Oh, yeah, that was a big one. A lot to push back on that.
Right. So if that happens, I mean, that's a pretty strong signal, major shift in U.S. policy.
It would be. The U.S. setting the tone for, how the rest of the world approaches this.
In this article, it also mentioned, streamlining federal oversight.
Okay.
So providing some clarity, which I think a lot of people in the crypto space have been asking for.
Yeah, definitely. That uncertainty is a killer. Makes it hard to plan, to invest.
And get this, there's even talk about a Bitcoin strategic reserve.
Whoa, wait, like a government stockpile of Bitcoin?
That's what it sounds like.
That's pretty wild. Kind of like a digital Fort Knox or something.
Yeah. It's like something out of, science fiction almost.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it shows you how seriously people are taking crypto now. It's not just a fringe thing anymore.
And let's not forget, under this administration, there's the potential for an XRP ETF being approved.
Oh, yeah, that would be massive.
Right, because then everyday investors could, easily gain exposure to XRP without having to deal with, actually buying and storing the crypto themselves.
Totally. Lower the barrier to entry, make it much more accessible.
And that would definitely drive demand up. Right.
For sure. And speaking of demand, one of the articles pointed out this trend, and it's really interesting. Those addresses that hold between 1 and 10 million XRP tokens, they've been accumulating a lot lately.
Oh, really?
They've added a whopping 1.4 billion coins to their holdings just in the past few months.
That's a lot of XRP. So that tells you, even with all the uncertainty, there are people out there they're bullish on its long-term potential.
It's a bit of a paradox. You've got the institutional investors who are maybe more cautious because of the SEC case, but then you've got these smaller players. Maybe they're betting on a good outcome, or maybe they just see the utility of XRP.
So beyond the legal stuff, the regulations, what else should we be keeping an eye on that could impact XRP's price, in the short term?
Well, adoption is huge. The more businesses, the more institutions using XRP for actual transactions, that's what really matters.
Yeah.
Like we talked about with the Japanese banks and the XRP ledger. That's a big step.
So beyond cross-border payments, what other use cases are there for XRP?
Oh, there's a bunch. I mean, cross-border payments are a big focus for Ripple, but the XRP ledger itself, it can do a lot more. We're seeing it used for micropayments.
Okay.
And in decentralized finance, DeFi. even with NFTs, non-fungible tokens.
So it's more than just like, people buying and selling, hoping to make a quick buck.
Right. It's becoming part of the infrastructure of this new financial system that's emerging.
One article even mentioned that if XRP goes up another 15% from where it is now, it would hit all-time highs.
Wow.
Like above that 2018 peak of $3.40.
Given the momentum, yeah, it's definitely possible. And if you factor in inflation over the last 7 years, it would actually have to go above $4.24 to really be in uncharted territory.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about, the potential changes with the new administration, the SEC case, what Ripple's been up to, the adoption of the XRP ledger, and this overall, positive feeling in the market.
And it's important to remember, all this excitement, it comes with risks. The crypto market is volatile. Do your own research. Make informed decisions.
Absolutely. It's a lot to take in, but it's crucial for anyone who's, trying to understand this space, how it's changing, how it's evolving. Yeah, it's pretty amazing to watch all of this unfold in real time.
It really is like a financial revolution happening right before our eyes.
And, all this talk about the new administration maybe being more pro-crypto, it makes you wonder.
Wonder what?
Like, what would responsible regulation look like, for the whole crypto world?
Yeah. It's tricky finding that balance between, letting innovation happen, but also protecting people, making sure the market's stable.
Right, because we don't want to stifle the potential of this technology.
Oh, absolutely not. Too many rules, too much red tape that can kill innovation.
But then, on the other hand, you need some rules, some safeguards, right? To prevent fraud, to protect people from getting scammed.
Exactly. It's a tough one.
And I think, this deep dive has shown us how complex this issue is. There's so much at stake and everyone's got a different opinion.
Totally. There's no easy answer.
No magic bullet.
Right. We need rules that are well thought out.
Yeah.
That actually make sense for how different cryptos work, how people use them. It's not one size fits all.
So, as we all continue to follow this SEC case, as we see what happens with the new administration, I think it's important for everyone to think about this, to think critically.
About how to get those regulations right.
Exactly. How to create a system that allows innovation to happen, but also protects investors.
It's a conversation that's just starting, and it's going to have a huge impact on the future of, everything, really. The future of finance.
Yeah, this deep dive into XRP, it's given us a peek into that future. All the potential, but also all the challenges.
Lots of moving pieces.
We've covered so much, the legal battles, the regulations, the real world uses of XRP, and the excitement, the excitement, the energy around this technology.
And the uncertainty. Can't forget that.
Right. So to everyone listening, stay curious, keep learning, keep exploring. This is a fascinating space to watch.
It is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.